let's make a space for building community. And sometimes in community, there's discomfort. Sometimes in community, there's people you don't agree with.
Yeah.
But in a real community, you're going to have to figure out how to work together. Hey, I'm Cinthya, storyteller, spiritual softie, hija de too many identities to count, and one half of this diasporic duo.
And I'm Amy, creative curator, intuitive thinker, hija de inmigrantes, and this is
decafSOUL.
Hi everyone, welcome back to decafSOUL. I'm Amy.
And I'm Cinthya. We have reached the end of our first season. We have learned so much from these past few months.
decafSOUL has been a labor of love brought to you by two best friends and, of course, our producer, WNN, along with the family and friends that have helped us along the way.
Shout out to Steven!
Shout out to Steven, our technical director
/ editor.
Cinematographer, producer. Director.
It's a few couple.
It's a lot of things. He helped us out. So thanks, Steven.
Okay. So ready for this, bud?
Well, fun icebreaker time.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Okay.
So
tell me your favorite podcast.
Okay, I have a few. Right now, the one that I've been listening to a lot lately is Good Hang with Amy Poehler.
I just watched an episode with Hayley Williams, from Paramore.
I have yet to watch that one, but that's on my list.
That's actually the only one I've watched, which I was like,
really?
That was my introduction to her podcast. I didn't know it was a thing.
She has
and then
some
I
good
was like,
people
she does actually. That's why I was like, oh, this is cool. And then, but I really enjoyed the episode with Hayley Williams. Like, I thought it was so lighthearted
First of all,
and funny. And
huge Paramore fans.
Yeah.
Love Paramore, love Hayley Williams. We think she's really dope. She's cool. She knows what to say all the time. And she's just very authentic.
She's like awoke,
Yeah, and for real.
Yeah,
she's not even like performing for anybody.
No,
it's like from her herself.
You know how she sang what's it called? The song that has like the strange fruit reference.
I don't know.
She just has this new song that came out.
Is that from her new solo album?
Yeah.
I haven't heard that yet.
Oh my god. Are you kidding? It's so good. Oh, there's this one song called Glum, which I love. And then there's the other song. Oh, it's called True Believer. So the song is basically, and you know that song by Billie Holiday called Strange Fruit?
Of course, yeah.
Where she's like, they're in the trees and everything like that.
Yeah.
So she has a lot of allusions to how the South.
She's from the South.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's like, the South will not rise again. Like, da-da-da-da.
I did see that clip.
Cool.
Okay,
and so she sang on Colbert, right? Like a few weeks ago. And like the thing was like, hey, Hayley, don't do anything super political. And then she sings True Believer. And I'm like, yes, Hayley. Like, she doesn't disappoint, which is really cool because it makes my teenage self really happy because I'm like, I didn't pick a bad one. Because
like she's still good.
Yeah, as the years pass, like things come out for people, and you're like, damn it,
fuck, we missed out. I haven't seen that episode, but that's on my list.
Definitely watch it.
I think part of like what Amy Poehler does really well is that she's also a new podcaster. So I understood her fears.
Trepidations
like
about
she's like, I
how
don't really know what I'm
this?
doing.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know what we're doing. And like she also has her laptop in front of her all the time. And she's like, I don't care. I'm gonna have it in front of me because that's where all my notes and questions are.
Also, like Joe Rogan, who always has like 5 people behind the camera, are all on laptops.
Okay.
And he's like, but what he does is he's like, can you Google that? And they will give him the information. He's like, look that up for me.
Like
and then they'll pull up the picture and you'll see it in the screen for us. But what's actually happening in real time is that it's getting pulled up for Joe and the guests too. So they have a group of people. So what we're doing when we're like on our phone and stuff, somebody's doing it for them.
Wild.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's actually like, it's okay that we do the thing with the phone. That's why when I started bringing my phone out, I was like, whatever, Joe Rogan has somebody do this for him.
I agree. We do have our phones like literally right here and all the devices.
Like, I'm not like texting someone. I'm like trying to fill in the void of the story that I'm trying to tell.
Just add a little oomph into it. Okay, so Amy Poehler was a good one. Wait, what other podcast?
Oh my god, it's funny. It's like I do enjoy Diary of a CEO a lot because
that's a good one.
He brings very interesting guests, and I like what he's like where he's been leaning towards of like bringing like health related stuff to the forefront.
Yeah, you did tell me that.
And like that has been really fun to watch and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I do feel like because it's such a big podcast, like the advertising and whatever. Like, I think he interviewed, like, did he interview Kamala? I don't know. He interviewed someone really big. So, like, sometimes it can feel like it's just part of the media. Yeah. But I do enjoy that he while he knows that he has such a big following, he's using it to talk about health and, like, wellness and things like that.
Yeah.
And, like, bringing forward, like, how he talks about his team. Really? And he's, like, he says that...
Wait, is he a CEO himself?
I guess of his job, of the podcast. Okay. And now it's so big. Like, each episode at least gets 1 million views.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's crazy. At least.
I listened to like one or two episodes, but it's on my list.
Every single episode I've watched of his I've enjoyed. Like, I've learned a lot every time, even if it's not someone that I might agree with or I might enjoy, like you know, like their views or whatever. Sure. I like how he asks questions. I like how he gets into like their mind. Style, yeah, like I really enjoy that. And it does give you the idea of, like, okay, like, this is how you, like, create a podcast that is lucrative too, while also bringing, you know, like, it's a very businessy, but it's the name. It's the name of the game, the Diary of a CEO. You know, and then he interviews different people that are like that, you know, or sometimes not. That's why the cool thing is about the whole, like, him leaning towards, like, wellness, being like, oh, okay, so he's using his platform a little differently. Like, he's not just using it to interview the biggest famous people and, like, someone
that reminds me of one of my, you know, podcasts that this is weird. I'm claiming it my favorite, but I haven't actually listened to, like, one of the episodes. So funny. I'm one of those that, like, have listened to it through Instagram.
Okay,
clips,
I gotcha.
But I haven't actually listened to the podcast.
Whichever, whatever, what is it?
And I'm like, this is my favorite podcast.
Well, I watched it a little.
It's called Women in the Nude with, her name is, I think it's Sasha. I don't want to get her name wrong. Hold on. She's with Sasha Petiers. Oh, well, she's an actress, and she's probably more well known for being one of the Pretty Little Liars in that show, Pretty Little Liars.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
The one that got killed in the beginning, or the one that was missing. Well, she was one of those, one of the young women. But cool. But she's actually, like, she's really cool because she's. It reminds me a little bit about from Diary of CEO, where she definitely. It's called Women in the Nude podcast, and it's, like, very, like, raw, stripped, like no performance. Like, one of the things why the clips was that she has PCOS. Okay. So she had someone, like, doctors and nutritionists, come to talk about it. So that's why I was like, oh, I love this. Uh-huh. But there were more episodes where she started talking to more, like, she talked to one of the actresses, Francia. I forgot her name, but she's a Latina actress. She's really cool.
What's she in?
She's in, like, she was in My Secret Life. No, not Secret Life. Just kidding. Teenage Life with Shailene Woodley, American Teenage Mom, something like that.
The Secret Life of, I don't remember.
The Secret Life of the American Teenager?
Something like that. It was a crazy long title. Yeah.
Well, she played, like, the villain, I guess. Or,
okay.
like,
there was a lot of, like, actors that are big now. Yeah. That are in that show, which is kind of cool.
But anyway, so she brings in, like people in the industry who have been in the industry, who, you know, or not, or, like, just different types of people, like, with conversations. But she's so like blunt in a way, but not, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just, she brings a level of authenticity to the way she previews the questions, and then, like, at the end, you just have you feel like you have a real well-rounded conversation, and you feel like you can take it with you somewhere, and then, like, talk about it with your other friends or whatever. So it's, Women in the Nude podcast is a really good one. What's another one? Have you ever heard of Pod Crushed?
Is that?
So that's with three co-hosts, which I think is really fun. Uh-huh. It's with Penn Badgley.
Oh yeah. I was about to talk about that. I just didn't remember the name of it. That one's fun.
My husband doesn't like Penn Badgley, like, which is so funny.
That's like,
I'm like, why?
Sometimes, you know, I don't know how I feel about him. I think he's cool. I don't know how I'm feeling.
He's very
he's literally Gossip Girl.
He's literally Gossip. How can you not like Gossip Girl? But he has a very interesting way of
seeing things
and
talking to people. You know, That one is just like you. Like, I've actually never seen a full episode. I've just always seen like clips.
Oh, you mean the show?
Yeah.
Oh, like the Netflix
No, I mean the actual Podcrushed, whatever. Like, I've only ever seen clips and I enjoy them, but I've never listened to a full episode. Yeah. I think one time I clicked one and it was like a little boring, but I think it was more so because the guest was like not
boring.
Yeah, really giving it
hit or misses. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Because and that's tough too. Like, as a person that's interviewing someone, you know who I like. I know, I'm like taking it.
No,
Z-Way's.
How can we not? We talk about Z-Way on a weekly basis.
Because for me, it's like one of those things where it's like a comedy show. You know, she's so smart about it. Her style is so funny,
so genius.
Did you see her? She's like interviewed Eric Adams. And I was laughing so hard because he didn't understand her sarcasm. He was flirting with her and she was like, okay. And then he just kept flirting and you're like, bro, stop it.
Like, you're not seeing it clearly.
But I think it's very, like, it's smart. It's one thing to say, like, people are like, why did his team approve it? Why did his team approve it? And it's like, bro, he does not care how he looks. Like, he just wants to stay in the limelight. Yeah. And like because at this point, like, he's gotten
what else is he gonna do?
Slandered by everything and he's still running, you know, he's still kicking and screaming.
Funny. Love that episode.
She also did one with the guy that is in jail, Santos, the congressman that ended up lying. Did you watch that one?
I think I remember a clip.
It's just like, I think it's like performance art, to be honest with you.
It truly
genuinely is. And like, I love when people either catch it or they like it
takes them a second.
Or they don't like. It doesn't matter where the guest lands. It's gonna be good because she has this follow through, like a thorough line of like, this is how I am. This is how I'm gonna.
It's truly nothing I've ever seen.
Oh my god! I think there were times where I would think like, what if we do little episodes like that? But it's like hard because
you need to really find someone that has that like. I don't want to say opposition, but it does feel like
it's
that.
Like a kind of rapport.
The kind of topics that she presents is like she purposely lines them up as to be like, again, I don't know if I'm saying the right word, oppositional, but it does feel that way because she's really poking the bear.
I know, it's like, so good. And I would be so nervous because I'm like, no, these are my guests. I have to treat them like honored guests. Yeah. You know, like I can't be mean to them.
Oh my God, imagine if we did a Z-Way interview style with all the guests that we had. And they'll be like, why am I here? And they'll like just walk out, decafSOUL.
We could throw everything on the ground.
We have to do that. Oh my God.
No.
We should do like a Z-Way interview with the both of us, like a test run.
Okay, maybe that could be a fun thing. Just to see
I'll go
like
first right
un
now.
Experimento.
No way. I can't ask that.
I can't do
it. Cut. We can't do it. Okay.
Oh
That's a good one too.
All right. Well, that was
a lot. There's a lot more podcasts. Definitely, but
how do you do this?
Oh, you just scroll up.
Bro, I don't know how to use Mac because I've always used Microsoft PC.
Yeah, it's alright. It's okay. All right. So, ooh, that's a good question. Okay, so have you ever watched a bad interview? No. So, there was like, okay, so recently Anthony Hopkins was getting interviewed by this guy. There's kooky.
This is a podcast I like. It's like, I don't remember his name, but he's like for like the New Yorker, New York Times. And so like the New York Times sometimes has podcasts on YouTube that they whatever. So they're just basically like producing it. Yeah. But this guy, he's interviewed, he just recently interviewed Kristen Stewart. He was interviewing Anthony Hopkins and
I think I've seen clips of this.
Yeah, and he interviewed Anthony and he was like talking about his son and he was like, I will not talk about that. Next question.
The son or the daughter? And like
the daughter or the son, his child,
like alleged like daughter that
he hasn't spoken to in like 30 years or whatever.
I did see that.
And so what I liked is how the like interviewer was able to kind of like walk his way through it because the actor was
instead of like directly asking him?
No, he directly asked it, but then he got that pushback of like, I will not talk about this. Like we're next question. And he was like, okay, well, I just want to explain it to you from my point of view because I haven't spoken to my father in a long time and blah, 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 blah. I'm estranged. Kind of being like, hey, like, I just want to understand. Like, and, you know, and like.
And you would think that he would.
He didn't really give anything, which was very interesting. But I was like, wow, like it's hard to be able to walk that line so that you don't lose your guest entirely, and then be able to kind of sort of pull them back, or at least not have them be so like annoyed by the question that they can still continue. Yeah. And I was like, that was very well done by that guy, which I wish I remembered his name. But that was really interesting to watch because I've seen
instead of him getting like angry, like
or like
or
just or I mean, you have to try to be calm or whatever. Yeah. I mean, other bad interviews are usually like, I don't know, like when.
Do you think they're bad interviews mainly because of the guests, you know, like that Anthony Hopkins situation?
Yes and no, because there are times where you watch guests asking like young women, female artist questions that are very intrusive and have nothing to do with the art that they're doing.
That's true.
And I always find that annoying. Like I'm always like, you know, like we don't have to go in that direction. Why don't you ask them about the thing they're making?
They would like get up and leave or be like, are we done? Okay, great. I get it. I mean, I'm not an actor, but like I can get the feeling behind of like, why are you asking me this?
Or like when Blake Lively was kind of mean to that lady and was
I saw that clip too
about her not being able to have kids or whatever, and she was like, Blake Lively was pregnant at the time, and she was like, "Are you pregnant?"
Several actors that are influential. It doesn't have to be actors, figures that have been interviewed, and I've seen, you know, obviously we've all seen it on social media where they would be like either asking them the same type of question, be like, how do you feel if I asked you that same question? Or Shailene Woodley is another one. Do you know who that Shailene Woodley is? Okay, she's another one of those actors that like do that type of pushback. But that's it's cool. Like, you know, why are you asking dumbass questions, bro?
It's tough because like I guess people just want to get a good question that will bring people's attention and stuff like that.
I think that's why when we had our guests this season, I always wanted to give them like a preview of the questions or the topics that we wanted to ask them, just so that they can feel prepared, but also like feel comfortable, because we had a few, you know, there was some guests on our podcast that like never did anything like this before, and some have done podcasts before, and some were just okay with it. But it's like, it's interesting to work with the different levels of guests and like their comfort levels, especially if whether you know them or you're just meeting them for the first time in your life.
I know. I feel like we were always so careful with everyone. Yeah. So when I watch interviews and people are like abrasive to their guest, I'm like, oh, how could you? Yeah. I want to make you feel comfortable.
Yeah, same.
You know, so that whenever I see that, I always clock it and I'm like, wow, like.
See, that we can't do a Z-Way interview because she's just like, I want to make people feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, I guess like that's her thing, bro. That's her thing.
Oh man, bro. Okay. Ooh, you want to ask that?
What inspired the creation of decafSOUL?
Oh my God. What did inspire the creation of decafSOUL? Well, I guess for me, I just got laid off from my job.
That's the beginning of many stories.
I just got laid off and it was a great job. But, you know, obviously the financial times, you know, couldn't support. And I was definitely one of those, like, what do they say? Last one in, first one out type of situations. Yeah, because it wasn't just me. Thing? Yeah, it's a thing. Okay. Yeah, it wasn't just me. It was like a couple other people that got like laid off from the job. And so I was obviously feeling like down, very upset, very like feeling like a failure. Like, oh my God, I can't believe this was my first time getting laid off. You know, so it was just a lot of feelings happening. And I knew that I was a creative soul, a creative person. I'm like, I got to do something. Like, no one's like getting back to me. And I used to think it was my fault. And I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible. And then I'm hearing a lot of people saying it's not you. It's literally the job market right now.
It's the times.
It's the times.
And it's also like,
and I'm like,
not to say where you're working at, but like it was like a nonprofit, right? Like sort of.
Oh yeah, nonprofits are always the first to go.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Always
so
first to go.
But you know, it's interesting for you to say, like, people have like, why would you feel some type of way about being laid off? It's not you. Do you know what I mean? It was the company.
Of course. I think it's because when you
it's not really, like being fired because you did something wrong.
For sure. I think it's just like, it's the unexpectedness of being laid off is what, like, definitely like that first blow, like, oh my God, like I didn't see this coming, right, truly.
For sure.
But then it's like the next feeling that I think I got was I worked so hard for nothing. You know, so then it's like that sort of starts to sit in a bit, and it's like then you have that, you know, reevaluation period. Like, is this the career that I really want to pursue? Do I need to be looking at different fields of different industries? You know, like what's really going to help me get that stability? Because I knew for one thing is that I love what I do. Yeah. Maybe I just needed to sort of redirect that to a different environment or different place, which I thought I found, but joke's on me. So I just kind of like, so anyway, that's one of the reasons why for me, I wanted to start the podcast. Also, you came to me with the idea in the first place, which I was
and then
like,
we also had like joked around for so long about maybe having a podcast
for a long time,
but it just kind of came to fruition because we had the space and you had the time and I had the time because I work night shifts.
Yes,
and so like it just kind of
it worked out,
and I think both of us were longing for like creative outlets to be able to talk about the things we love, to be able to give a platform to the people we see doing great things, you know, and like it all just kind of not magically, you know.
Yes, magically.
No,
yes,
it's like
magically.
It all happened at the time that it was supposed to happen, and that's just the beauty of life. Yeah. Like we think that things are late all the time. We think that we're not receiving things, and we're like, oh, I'm not at the right place, and then all of a sudden what you've been dreaming of for 10 years happens in 5 months, you know what I mean? And that's actually I feel like that's life all the time. You know, you wait for things to change, and then nothing changes, and then all of a sudden everything changes. You know, I feel like I've had that experience happen to me a few times in my life where I'm like, oh, this is stagnant. And then without me thinking or realizing, everything has changed. Right. And so it was awesome that all of the things kind of fit together like this beautiful puzzle at the right time. You know, not that I want you to be laid off or want you to feel like any type of way. That part sucks, you know, and that kind of insecurity of life sucks. But
it does.
It is nice to be able to kind of funnel your energies into something.
Exactly. That's what. So what the reason, you know, I never saw the podcast coming, but now thinking up to this point, thinking about it, it literally saved my creative life. Truly, because
you were like, let's just go to corporate, let's sit in an office, whatever.
People have been telling me, they're like, why don't you try for corporate? Apply for corporate. I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. Like, I'm so
you would get a job probably quickly.
Probably, but I just, for whatever reason, I'm just so in love with community work. Yeah. And that's also kind of a big theme in our podcast too. Especially like the types of guests that we had interviewed too, but you know, they came from sort of the same
vibes.
For
real, yeah.
And so I maybe that could change, you know. Once I taste the corporate juice, maybe, but like, I don't know.
I think like if your body and mind and soul are telling you like, I belong in this world and I'm going to find a way to make a space for it, maybe you should just listen to that, you know? And I know it's hard because like money and stuff, and you're like, oh, like I need to make money. And that's where we all end up falling, you know? Like I didn't think I was going to be working at a hospital as a nursing assistant.
I know, man.
Or, well, you know, and so, but life happens, and then you're like,
Cynthia's about to do great things, y'all.
So thank you. So like,
there's a lot of big changes happening.
A lot, and it's like, but I don't know. It's nice to be able to have something for yourself, because this does feel like ours. Like there's work and there's life, and then there's this thing that we can get to create, you know? And like, I felt like I really missed that. And I had just like decided that I wasn't like going to happen. Like I had, like, that was it. But I was like, this is funny, but I was like, please God, like make me do beautiful things. Like I want to do things. I don't want to just talk about things. I want to do things. And like, you know, I talk about things all the time. I want to do things all the time. I have ideas all the time.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm the same. Sometimes I feel the same way. Sometimes
I feel like you're a doer girl. And stop playing.
But sometimes that gets tiring too. You know,
that's
like
fair,
you kind of have to like take a step back and reset a little bit and like figure out if this is like, how long do I want to continue this for? You know, like, but just the whole fact that we created something and that it exists and it will forever exist in time and space. And, you know, we could do this. We could take this a different avenue. Like it's just it's here.
Yeah, and it's organic, and that's what I love. I think that's why we have this idea of like how rigid, like let's say corporate is. Like
I know
you've worked at these jobs that are so organic. Yes, there's rules and there's things you have to do and there's metrics you have to meet, but there's something different about having to work with artists. Like you work the ballet hispanico, let's say.
God.
Like yes, there was like a line that you had to follow and an outline that you had to do, but there was always this kind of like craziness that comes with the artist and the work that you're trying to do that you wouldn't get if you're sitting in an office just making.
It's a fun time.
It is.
It's a fun time.
And that's beautiful that you're like, I want to stay. And it's tough and it kind of sucks that it's like, well, how do I make a living out of this every time so it's just about like finding
it's about finding your space. Like, I've definitely learned this year that I can do anything.
Hell yeah.
I literally can do anything.
That's awesome.
So, it's been a fun ride with you, friend.
It's been a fun ride. It has been.
We'll see what else we can create. Okay. What else do we got? Want to talk about our guests from this season? So our first guest was Fabiola Morales.
Yes.
And that was the conversation of migrant children and her work with them, which was a great first. I think she was like the best first guest.
I know. I loved having her with us.
Her insights and her experience in that field, especially because you and I, we talk about it, but like we just never knew like the intricacies of the work itself. So it was so cool and so
I know it made me want to find more like community outreach kind of people that do the kind of work that she does, because I want to understand. I want to understand why things don't work. What is working? What are people doing on the ground to help kids? A big thing about this whole season was that we ended up having guests whose jobs were protecting and caring for children.
For kids, yeah. Isn't that funny?
Andrew is working for theater.
Yeah, Andrew Binger.
In Newark, and a lot of it, I mean, obviously there's adults in it, but he's an educator, so he's worked with a lot of children, especially in this area. Kayla is a social worker working for the Boys and Girls Club in Newark. So it just kind of, it happened organically that we have these guests that are in this kind of line of work, and they're all very different lines of work, but they all have a thorough line of let's take care of the kids. And I was like, that didn't happen on purpose. That happened by accident from like who we picked, and we got lucky. Who we picked said yes every time, so we didn't have to go searching a mountain of people.
Well, it was also very intentional picking the guests that we
did, but it was funny that it ended up being in that direction, and I was like, yo, this is for the kids. Like, this is for the kids.
decafSOUL is for the kids.
Yeah, like, no, for real. Because, and you know what? They are a minority that is underrepresented, and like,
yeah, girl,
I want to talk about them. Like, for me, I was like, wow, like, let's keep finding more people. Let's figure out how to help. Let's figure out, like, that's what this also kind of got me into, like, wait, let's put all these people together in a room. Let's have conversations together. Like, then the ideas start flowing. Wild, but I just thought how wonderful that's how that kind of happened by accident in a way. Yeah. Obviously the guests were intentional, but I didn't think that
was a thread.
Yeah, until it happened, and I was like, wait.
It actually ended up being like that.
These are
I
my
love
people.
When that happens. Though,
yeah, and I was like, let's talk about the kids.
You think it's one thing, but then it turns out to be something else.
And Fabiola, Fabiola was really cool because although I am an immigrant child and you're a child of immigrants, like I really appreciated her talking about how like we don't always understand how their mind works. How let's say like they want to work. Yes. They think of themselves as adults because they've been either parentized. What's that word when it's like you become parentified?
Yes, I don't know what it is, but I do know what it is.
So like they either they act like the parents, they have to make money, especially if they're boys, and like maybe sometimes like the way that this country is supposed to treat children doesn't really work with what they need to do, and like how do we respect that and show them some sort of middle ground? Like I hadn't thought of that until she was speaking to us.
Yes. One thing that I learned and it stuck with me was that one thing she had said about kids that come here that, you know, look for these types of refuge or resources, but in actuality we're like stopping them from getting to their goals of why they're here
that
in
had
the
been
first
something
place.
I didn't think about.
Me
you know,
either.
I was like, let's just help them.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the problem sometimes with, I'm just saying the white savior, but I'm not the white savior. But Yeah. That's kind of what ends up happening, that like we want to help, but we aren't thinking about the full picture. Sometimes help doesn't look like what you think it's supposed to look like.
So that's something else that Andrew had said in his episode in the realm of education and schools and in, you know, theater programs or whatever that he had mentioned. But one thing that he also said that was very similar to what Fabiola said was that we have to give students and kids the chance to learn for themselves. You know, we can only help them and guide them as much as we can, but it's like a double-edged sword, right? Like we can't do that and then also tell them what they have to do. Like, it just didn't make any sense.
I know, it's tough.
So it's like, similar but different.
How do parents do it?
Yeah. And Kayla said the same thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Too. It's like, crazy that there was this thorough line with all the guests.
I feel like she was more specific in the sense of like the children's well-being.
Yeah.
Like their emotionality to things and how they're able to comprehend a lot of the situations
and that we should listen to them like, and we should hear them out and
right. Like
how
not
they
assume,
see it like how they maybe their big problem isn't the big problem that you're trying to address. Maybe their big problem is something else.
And how like empathy was so vital in when she was explaining like when she's in a room with a child and like talking to them and having these like conversations and talking to them like the age that they are instead of like talking to them like a baby, you know. So it was, I love that communal thread that all of our guests had in their episodes. But one guest that, you know, she was fun. I really enjoyed hers. Was Rebecca.
Yes, I was going to say, Rebecca was different, but it was wonderful because it was just like about something that we love, like movies and spooky things and scary things. And that was really fun because it was different and she was doing something that she loved.
Yes. You know, I love that.
And it's like, damn, like,
and you can see it in her face.
Yeah. When she's talking about it
like
and
lit up she was of like, you know, talking about like, what are your favorite like movies or your horror films? And then I don't know nothing about paranormal investigation except for like the TV shows, right. It's like to actually talk to someone
that is in there and trying to figure it out.
And you know, like it's
how even she evolved. She was like, no, at first I didn't know what I was doing. At first I was scared of this thing. At first I was this, and then as time passes, and it's like, oh, that's so cool. Like, you know, curiosity is what brought her there. And curiosity was keeping her there. She's like, no, I want to see more. I want to learn more. I want to keep investigating. And I was like, yes, girl. Like,
cool. And now she's coming out with her book, and I'm ready to read that book.
It's about Freehold, right?
Yeah, it's about Freehold, and that's one thing that impressed me a lot with her too. Is that, you know, she's from Freehold, and she has a wealth of knowledge of the town that she grew up in.
Yeah,
and that was because it was brought on by like the paranormal business that she owns, and then a lot of that is tied in with the actual history, you know, like a lot of
she's like low-key a historian.
Yeah, she's
so
literally
that's pretty badass,
and that's pretty cool too. Something that we also really love. So it's just, we're such nerds. But it's great that she was able to bring in a real life perspective of the things that she's interested in and passionate about, and now she gets to like do it in share it in a different form. So that's cool too, which I'm all about, you know, whether it's a podcast or a book. We should write a book. Let's write a book.
About what?
About us. This our life story. We're very interesting.
Gosh. You know, I used to be like, you know, people tell you like, oh, you have to live a little before you can actually like write a story or whatever. And I'm like,
I don't believe that.
No, now I think that my stories now would be better than they were like 10 years ago. I do believe that.
God, yeah.
But so you do have to live a little. You do have to like go through things. You do have to like.
I think we lived a lot.
We have, right? and we're going to keep living more, God willing. Yes. But like, you know, like hard or not hard. But like, it's just crazy because that's the cool thing too. Like, you know, not everybody, like Kayla is still finishing her master's, you know. Like,
I know.
So her journey is just beginning. Yeah, Andrew, for example, has been doing it for a long time. Yeah. You know, and so, but then still they had this thorough line of like, no, when we speak to kids, we have to listen to them. When we're working on community, but we also have to humble ourselves as adults.
Yes.
Because, you know, sometimes we're wrong about the way we do things. You know, they both had that kind of like, hey, like, no, we have to listen to them. We have to like kind of let our egos down and like work with them. And I was like, yes, like, because that's the thing about kids. Like, we're entrusted to take care of them, but we don't always know what we're doing as adults. So it's like,
because we ourselves are learning too.
Yeah. And there could be mistakes made along the way. So them being so aware of that was very special to me, because I was like, oh, there's people out there that are aware that sometimes we do things wrong, and that there are other ways where we can handle problems with kids or just like community service for them, or what works best for them. And like, you know, instead of just being like, no, this is how we have to do it, this way is the way it works, and it's like, no, it's not always like that.
We had really good open-minded folks, and that just really kind of
it wasn't like we were like
bubble.
nitpicking like, oh, do they think like us, do they believe the things we believe? No, it wasn't like that at all. It just that's why it was so nice to find people that all kind of by accident agreed on the way they saw certain things.
I mean, I think it's a reflection too of like who we surround ourselves as people, as women, with similar beliefs. And you know, it would be interesting to find someone who doesn't
that goes back to like a bad interview, or how can we not make that a bad interview? How do we talk to someone that doesn't agree with us, that does not see the world that we see it, and be able to have a real back and forth? Maybe not get anywhere, because I'm not trying to change anyone's mind, and I don't necessarily but sometimes we need our minds changed, or we don't realize that maybe we're seeing something in a different perspective. You know what I mean? I don't know. I
actually really love talking to people like that, who don't have
if they're not abrasive,
if they're not abrasive, and they're also in the mindset of like, I'm not trying to change your mind either, but most of the time they are. But at the same time, it's like I've encountered people we don't agree with certain things, but we still have a civil conversation.
Yeah.
So
and in this world where everything is so divided, I think it would help to have those conversations, those civil like conversations with people that we don't agree with, and bring that out to the world, because all we currently see is people backbiting and hating each other because they don't believe in the same thing.
What is it, the rage bait? Is that
there's so much rage bait. There's so many people that just want to argue. There's so many people that just want to say like the worst things possible, and like,
are your hormones in check?
All right, you know, like just like whatever. You know, you saw what's happening there. There's this like podcast. It's like this bro podcast. I don't know the name of it, and I'm not gonna learn it. But like the girl, he was talking about women and how they should have like, you know, the usual thing, and she's like, well, your wife has 3 baby daddies. And he literally blew up. He was like, beep, 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 get the beep out of here, blah, blah, fuck you, but you know, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, it just went from 0 to 100 real quick as soon as she was like, you're talking about how women should be a certain way and act a certain way, but your wife has 3 baby daddies and you're raising those kids that aren't yours. So why are you talking about that when you're living the opposite? Why are you talking about be this way when you're living an opposite life? And he just like blew up and was like, you're insulting my wife. She was like, no, I'm just telling you the truth. Like, this is your life and you're talking about one thing, but you're living a different way, and you're tolerant of that woman. But when you're out and speaking in public, you're not tolerant of that kind of thing.
Yeah, it just makes you think like people's mindsets, and like it's almost like it's like a switch, right? Like they switch back and forth depending on the situation that they're in.
I don't know. I don't understand. I don't get it. But you know, it would be interesting to have a conversation with men like that. I don't know if it would add, like that's the thing, like I don't know if it would be worth it, you know, and not because it's like I don't want to have the conversations, but how do we speak to someone that like refuses to see that there is a bit of a like there's a kind of an issue with the way that you're seeing and treating women,
but they don't see that.
That's what I'm saying. And so like the reason that's where the like the fight comes in, when they're like, yeah, but blah 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 blah, and there's so many.
It could be difficult to,
but it would be a test, right? To see if we would be able to
test to ourselves,
to us, sure. And to be able to keep the civility and to be able to get to somewhere where we can come. Like maybe it sounds crazy, but like be able to be like, okay, well, we disagree, but I can understand that maybe I have been dehumanizing a group of people because I didn't understand or I saw life a certain way, you know. But it's like, who's gonna agree to that? Who's gonna say like, oh yeah, you're right, I have been doing this wrong way, like, or maybe, and then I'm like, oh, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Like I always am, like I'm always a devil's advocate for myself, even if it doesn't make sense, because. But that's just me. That's just how I am, you know. And sometimes
that's funny because I'm in my head. I'm like, I'm right, you're wrong.
No, I'm like, maybe. No, I mean, there's bad things that people shouldn't say or do. Yeah, 100%. But there are times where I'm like, well, how did you get to that? That's really the question.
That conclusion,
I feel like instead of trying to change anyone's mind, I would like to be able to be like, how did you get there?
Yes.
Let's pick your brain until we understand how you got there. That's it. I don't want to change your mind.
I have a few people that we can probably bring.
You know, and just like kind of like, let's talk about it. Like, hear me out. This is how I see the world. I know that you see it a certain way. This is just my perspective. I'm not trying to change your mind. And I would love to understand what you saw growing up that made you get to that point.
That brings me to, this is actually this segues very beautifully into our next question was, who would be your dream guest?
Oh.
Now, are you saying that would be like someone like that would be your dream guest just because you can feel that challenge? Or would you prefer someone like your favorite singer?
No, I don't know.
Which is okay too.
Some of my dream guests would be like, I would actually really love to be able to speak to someone that has experienced, like, I know this is crazy, but like people in Gaza. Like even if it was like a Zoom call.
You know who's people in Gaza, but would you extend that to people who are very much like in like that have a huge following,
or like organizers, community organizers,
yes.
because that's a very like interesting situation. And like,
hold on, I think I have her name, but
that would be really fun. I think I would enjoy that a lot.
She was a dream guest of mine, and I think she's in like the tri-state area, but I'm not fully sure. Ooh. Oh no. What's her name? She wrote a children's book explaining the war that's going on, so that
I feel like if you show me her, I know who she is.
Darn,
but I can't remember
man,
right now.
I forgot her name.
Wow, what's going on with my voice?
Oh my goodness. Shoot.
Or even people like in the West Bank, you know, like people that are living that life, because I would just like to spotlight that.
Hold on.
Hello.
Keep talking because I'm trying to find her.
I don't know.
I'm trying to find her. Oh, I think I found her. Her name is Jenan Matari.
Oh, she's actually from this area, I think.
That's what I'm saying.
That actually would be a really fun guest.
So she wrote, but she's like so hot right now. Like
I know.
It'd be so difficult to like get her. But she
wrote
like
I was at
book.
Patterson Day, like Palestine Day in Patterson. She was on the stage, you know, like, you know, we're very different.
Everything grows in Jito's garden.
Yes.
That's what she wrote. It's
I've
a
seen
children's
that.
book.
Yes, it's very cute. You know what's funny? They spell Jito, but they say Sido.
Sido?
Yeah. Like my father-in-law, like they call him Sido. Yeah, with an S. So I'm like, but then there's also this other thing about Arabic where it's like the Falahi accent, which is like Palestinian.
Yeah.
Is different than like other accents. So
like
they have
dialect?
I guess like a dialect or an accent, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But like Levantine Arabic is different than like North African Arabic, and so they kind of sometimes like they say like they don't understand Egyptian sometimes. I'm like, what do you mean? You guys are like next door to each other,
really?
But they really do speak Arabic differently. And the funny thing about like Palestinian Arabic is that it's very like soft. Like I always had this idea, and maybe like it's like tough, because of I've been like sadly ingrained with terrible media from like pop culture, and like Arabic is like. But
it's not.
It's not. You know, especially Levantine Arabic is very like, like it's very soft.
It's melodic. It's very
and I remember when I went over there and I was listening to them and I was like, why do they sound so beautiful? Like it sounds so soft. And I was so in my head, I always had this like, Arabic is you know, and it's not. It's actually not. It's actually very like soft. It's very and smooth,
like harmonizing.
And like, so that was a fun experience.
They're great
to
like
learn.
Singers. So I
oh my god,
they're beautiful. Like
I
come
love
on,
music.
Come on, y'all. Let's give it up for them because they're beautiful singers.
Okay, but I do.
So I can see how the way of speaking can actually come out as lyrical.
Yeah,
in a way.
For real. No, but in general, I think Arabic is very lyrical. Like it has a very kind of like sing-songy thing to it. But I think we were just like, I remember one time I was watching some World War II movie and there was like a jazz singer, and obviously it's the 40s, so she's singing, but she's singing in German. And that was the first time I'd ever heard German.
Not harsh?
Soft, yeah. And I was like, whoa.
It's a very rough.
Because, you know, in our brain, we're used to hearing what we see in the movies, blah, blah, blah. And I'd never heard it like soft and melodic and whatever. And I was like, wow, it's so different. So maybe part of my reason to I understood the languages in a certain way because I had seen them in the media a certain way. But then when you start to kind of dig into the actual culture of the world, let's say like I've been like knee deep in Palestinian world, right? I'm like, oh, okay, waist deep even. Like, this is different than what I thought it was, right? And yeah, that's a cool dream guest. I really like that.
Yeah, especially because she's like nearby too, because, you know.
She's from this area. And her brother is like big on like the music industry in that world. And like, yeah. He makes like Palestinian music and stuff like that.
Yeah, she's definitely a dream guest. One that I have, and I know you know who she is. And again, I don't want to say her name wrong because mad respect to these beautiful people. Zoraida Cordova. She is the author of the book that you read.
I'm like, which one?
The Inheritance of Orquídea Divina.
Oh my God, I would die if we could have her.
So I know she's like, I think she's in Queens or something, but
she lives around here?
Of course she does. Yeah, she's Ecuadorian.
Love that.
Which
Love
is
that for her.
One of the duh. But she's been a dream guest of mine.
What's the name of the book? Say it again.
I can't believe I don't have that book. What's wrong with me?
So you haven't read it yet, right?
No, I don't have it. I need to buy it. The Inheritance of Orquídea Divina.
The Inheritance of Orquídea Divina. If you're into, what's the word? Like post-magical surreal. What's the word that you
Magical realism.
Post-magical surreal.
Post-magical realism is a new genre, everybody.
I'm making stuff up right now. So her book is so awesome because it makes like Ecuador magical. And I'd never in my head felt or experienced Ecuador through this magical lens. You know, I have like Harry Potter or whatever, you know, I'm obsessed with those things, Charmed, and I grew up with that. And it was the first time when I read that book that I was like, Ecuador is magic. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that was so cool.
Should I read the premise of the book?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so the Montoyas are used to a life without explanations. They know better than to ask why the pantry never seems to run low or empty, or why their matriarch won't ever leave their home in Four Rivers, even for graduations, weddings, or baptisms. But when Orquídea Divina invites them to her funeral and to collect their inheritance, they hope to learn the secrets that she has held on to so tightly their whole lives. So, yeah, that's definitely on my list, but I think she's definitely a top dream guest of mine because she just felt. But
you definitely would have to read the book first before we have her. I'm talking sure. Like, yeah, we're gonna.
She has other books too. I know, right? Like, stay tuned.
It's a dream. It's a dream.
But she's cool because I feel like she would probably understand like a lot of like our vibes and communal efforts of the things that we're doing. God, and she's Ecuadorian, so bro. Cool. Like, there's not. When I was little.
Yes.
Side story. I remember this distinctly. I was like in kindergarten, maybe a little like just turned probably 5 or something. And you know how there's a certain age when you're a toddler or a kid where life just sort of turns on for you. And so you sort of start to like, it's no longer like waking up and like playing.
Yeah. You develop consciousness.
You develop consciousness.
Yeah.
So my first development of consciousness was realizing that I'm Hispanic.
Oh, interesting. I can't remember mine.
Isn't that a little weird? I'll never forget it.
How old were you? Do you remember?
I think I was like 5.
Okay.
Right?
I don't know. Yeah.
But I remember I was very young and I realized that like, oh, I live in this city where there's a bunch of kids But a lot of the kids were either Puerto Rican or they were like,
remember when like
Colombian,
like Latinos were only Puerto Rican or Mexican in America?
Dude, like it was a lot of them lived in like Elizabeth.
I know.
There was just so many, like there was a huge Puerto Rican population in Elizabeth. Then they like moved to Florida. And then now it's like a lot of Colombians but
a lot of Colombians.
But when I was little, there was still like a good chunk of like a lot of the community like in my classrooms was heavily like Puerto Rican or like but no one was from Ecuador.
Yeah.
And for the longest time I've always felt like I was the only kid that was from Ecuador.
That's crazy, because now it's like they're everywhere.
And now they're everywhere.
Ecuadorians are everywhere now.
And now it's like the restaurants, the trends, the dances.
I'm telling you, it went from like it was only like Mexican food, and then Colombian food started to take over, and now we're everywhere. Like there's all types of Latino food, like Salvadorian food, Cuban food.
Exactly.
And
anyway, to my point was because to the point was like when I was young and like for the better half of my life growing up, I just like I never had that Ecuadorian influence, and in my adult life, I find this amazing author who you really
haven't read yet.
I know.
I'm pretty sure I told you to read this book.
You did. You told me like numerous of times. I don't know what I'm waiting for.
Please,
I just have
this
other
is the
books
thing about
on my
Amy.
list.
Okay, she has a list.
I do have a list,
and the list continues to grow. And sometimes I'm like, Amy, just please put this book on the top of your list. Please just put this one at the top. Please put this show at the top. I know it's like you have so many.
See, you can't sit here and say that I'm a doer because.
But so I'm a doer in a different way. Like I ingest media like it's like I'm getting paid for it. I wish I was paid for it because I would just, and it's not even, that's why sometimes I'm like, okay, yeah, my screen time might be high, but I'm literally learning. Like I don't care about anybody's live. I'm not over here on your Instagram trying to figure out what you're doing. I don't care about clothes or looking pretty or whatever. I'm always just like learning new things.
It's because you're an Aquarius.
Oh, I guess. Is that a thing?
Yes. I don't care what anybody says. Your sign says a lot about you.
Maybe. I mean, I have I fit the bill.
You're just a natural humanitarian. That's what you are. You're just like it comes very easy for you that like, and as you say, that level of ingestion. Because you're just a philosophical person, and and I'm just like, damn, she's like on the next level.
I'm like a fun fact girl. Fun fact, fun fact.
Yeah, you're like one of those. Have you seen those memes or those social medias where like a family goes on a historic trip somewhere in Europe, and you always have that one person that's like, this is what happened in 1596 and yada 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 yada.
When it's like that voiceover where she's like, the Egyptians thought that dying was like,
and then you're like, I'm just trying to enjoy the view.
Like, bro. I'm just trying to take a good selfie. Quiet. And I'm like, yeah, but here's where this person died. Didn't you know that this person died here?
That's Cinthya. She'll ruin the moment for you with, or like, actually
not this person died, but actually they committed mass genocide here. Did you know that? No, I'm like, dead ass. Yeah, that's me.
I love it. Oh my God. Okay, so what were we talking about? Oh, our dream guests. So, okay, those are pretty good dream guests to have.
Yeah, I think so. It would be really cool.
Ooh, there's so many questions here.
I know.
Girl.
We're almost there.
We skipped a lot of these.
You skipped. I was like, all right, let's barrel through it.
Just keeping track on time, bro.
What did you? Wait, I like this one.
Okay.
What did you take away from like being in these episodes, like talking to these people and like this whole process? Like, what
knowledge is power. Kids. I mean, I meant to say knowledge is power. Kids, not like knowledge and power, and then kids.
Okay.
Like there's a comma in what I said.
I don't know. Re-say it. I'm like, what are you trying to say, girl? Knowledge is power.
Kids.
And kids.
No.
Oh.
I'm calling the audience member kids. Knowledge is power, kids.
Oh, there we go. Grammar in the air. I got it.
But also kids. Yeah.
Yeah, but also kids.
I think one thing that I've gotten from another thing that I've gotten is just the reconnection to some of these folks, because they are people that we've known at some point in our lives, and we've either we
live life and leave school, different jobs.
But that was a really cool thing for me, is just to have that, that reconnection and like, oh, how you been?
Yeah, and then being so open to being like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
That was really cool too.
Oh my God, fun fact. When I reached out to Andrew Binger, I reached out to him through DM and I'm like, hi, Andrew. I don't know if you remember me, but I'm Amy and we went to school together and you were my counselor. And I was just trying to like get him to remember. And the first thing he said was like, ha ha ha, of course I remember you. And I'm like, you stupid bitch.
You, not him.
Me, I'm like, of course he remembers you. Like, why wouldn't you think he did? So anyway, that was just funny. The way that whole initial conversation went down. And then I was like, do you remember Cinthya? I'm like, he's like, of course. What? And he said, I don't know why people always ask me if I remember them, like just random people. I'm like, you know what, you're right. It's interesting to.
You also don't want to assume that people.
That's what I said. I mean, that's like, Andrew, I don't.
Did you completely forget my existence? I mean, I didn't forget you, so I'd hope you didn't forget me. Right. But like, I guess it's just one of those things where like we're a little trepidatious and humble about the way we reach out to people. That's it. Not everybody's like that.
I also feel like it's the people pleaser in me too.
Yeah, like I don't want to assume anything.
Yeah,
and I don't want you to assume. Like,
so that was funny, the way that how we were able to reconnect in that way. And I think for me, it's just like the knowledge that I gained from these folks and just the rekindling or reconnection of in that certain moment of time, and just having them in the back of my brain, every now and then. Like if I look at like something that I feel like Andrew might be interested, or something that I feel like Kayla might like really, take in, or I don't know. It's just having that sort of like ping in my brain of that person and knowing a little bit about their stories and just sort of like.
Yeah, you're right. Like, something happens important and you're like, this person would be good for it. Because now they're in your forefront again. Yeah. And that's really cool. Not so much from watching or doing the episodes, but from building the whole thing, I learned a lot, because I always, I'm an ideas girl, but I don't know how to execute, right? And you're the opposite. Well, not the opposite. You're also an ideas girl.
No, I would argue that there's nothing going on.
Shut up.
I'm like, that's great. Let's do it.
But then you're like, this is how we do it. And I'm like, great, because I had no idea what to do. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no. There's actually a name for us, but I don't remember what it is. But yes, you are very much an ideas girl.
So like that was really cool to see how we could build something and learn how to build it.
I agree.
Because, it started from nothing. Yeah. And it's like.
We're so different too.
I know, it's true.
So different.
But
that's a good thing.
No, it is a good thing because it works.
It's also not a good thing.
But it works much better now because we understand each other better. Yeah. I think before we would kind of be at odds because you'd be like, what the hell? And I'd be like, you're being intense. But you'd be like, you're not intense enough. Like, please wake up, Cinthya. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so now it's like you understand how I am and I understand how you are because it's been like over a decade and
I think it's great that we were able to figure it out.
Yeah. I think so too, but that also, I think maybe that comes with growth as being an adult and being like
100%.
People are different. We have 100%. To understand. Like when you're younger, you just kind of be like, I don't know, like people, when we're younger, we just want to be like, you're dumb or you don't get it or blah, blah, blah. But
which now we have done before. We've yelled at each other in the street.
So, yes. So it's like one of those.
We've grown.
Yeah. It's like our frontal lobe is closing. It is fully formed. So that's really nice. But no, I really, I'm really grateful for the opportunity to have learned how to put something together, to understand that there's like so many facets to it, and we're still like we're probably just scratching the surface, to be honest with you. But
oh my God, yeah,
because we're just kind of flying by the seat of our
by the handle.
How does that?
By the handle, by the seat of the handle. I totally made that up, guys.
I thought it was by the seat of our pants.
See, that's something that's
literally not what it is. Like, I can't remember.
We're very forgetful people.
No.
I'm noticing.
It's just more like... It's like so terms. There's a lot of
those terms.
Yeah. And I'm like, I always get them wrong. Like, it's kind of funny that we get them wrong. Like, I'm like,
that's
flying by the seat of our.
I'm pretty sure that a lot of our viewers are probably like, that's wrong.
There's so many times when I'm like rewatching the episode, I was like, oh, I said that wrong. You're like, oh no, I can't take it back. I sound dumb. And then I'm like, it's not my fault. This isn't scripted.
That's so sad. Oh my goodness. Whatever, man. We're old women.
Going
so
with it. Hey,
no,
we're not old.
Hey.
We have a whole life ahead of us. I refuse to be old yet.
Okay. Woo. Oh no. What's that? Okay.
Why do we? So decafSOUL is a funny thing, right? Because people are like, what does it mean? Every single person that in my life has asked me what it means, really? And I've been like, had to explain it.
I got a lot like, what is it about? And it was kind of hard for me to explain that.
Yeah, that too.
Still is. Okay, so wait, what was your thing?
Why people don't ask like Penn Badgley why they called it Pod Crushed? So I don't know. I guess maybe because people knew us. And it was like a smaller thing, so they were asking us instead of just like taking it in, like just take it in.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Don't question it.
And you like it. I know you like it. So just enjoy it. Like, shut up.
And I know you like it.
It's a cool name.
Oh my God. Okay, so do you feel like decafSOUL is the name is misunderstood? Is that what you're asking?
I don't know if it's misunderstood. I think people are wondering what it means and then some people will be like, so like, do you only drink decaf? And I'm like, no, I actually don't drink decaf. Like, I would have to become sick or something to drink decaf.
All right.
You sent me this.
I did send you this.
So this is why this is really important to us, having this podcast. Talk about it. You read them out.
So there was a post that I saw that there was a really good statistic over how out of 592 of the top podcasts on Spotify, only 6.6% of the top 100 had a woman of color behind the mic. You want to read the next stat? Because that's crazy.
Across the top 100, 35% female host to 64% male host. So out of the 500, the top 100, the majority were male hosts.
Mm-hmm.
Next.
So 22.3 hosts of color to 77.1% white people.
Yeah.
Wow. I did send this to you, yeah.
People of color versus... So it's like... And then almost 2/3 of the podcast didn't feature a single female guest.
Yeah. And then I remember you were like, oh my God, we're doing the work. And I'm like, we are.
We are doing the work.
We are doing the work.
We're one of the... And it's kind of cool to be like... But there are a lot of podcasts like ours that don't... Maybe they aren't big popular or whatever. This is the top 600 podcasts on Spotify. Yeah. But it's crazy to think that... by people, because they're popular by who listens to them, right? Mm-hmm. It's not like they, whatever. And then some of them are kind of like funneled through like bigger corporations, so they get more traction. That's also part of the reason why they're popular. Some of them just become popular because people end up liking them. But it was interesting to see, because I thought it was like, I don't know, in my head, I thought it was pretty 50-50. Do you know what I mean?
Me too.
I don't know why, but I didn't think there was this disparity in the podcast world.
You know what's funny is that when we first started the conversation of having the podcast, I'm like, oh my God, everyone has a podcast, right? Like everyone, there's so many.
But then again, no one we know, right?
No one we know.
So maybe not.
So it's like you have this notion, right? You have this idea that like you're going to be part of like a huge, which we are. But in reality, if you really get down to the numbers and the specificities of like who we are and how we identify, it's not that much.
No, and then like let's bring it back down to like, okay, how many are Muslim hijabis?
Oh my God.
Very small amount. Also because like, you don't always, like there's this kind of like idea, we don't want to be out in the world. We don't want to be perceived. We don't want to be seen a certain way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Women, even in a burqa, will be sexualized. So like that's also, there's a reason why there's less hijabis on podcast, and sometimes we feel like we have to be a little careful about what we say or what we're talking about or who we're talking to. But I want it to be like, I don't want to limit You know what I mean? Like, I don't, because there's so much we can talk about and so much we can do. And it's wonderful to be able to see people that look like me. Like, whenever I see someone that looks like me in a space where I normally don't see someone that looks like me, it's very, like, it's nice. It's exciting. It's like, oh, there's more of us. Like, you know, and it's like, I don't want to like take over or anything, but it's nice to feel like you're not alone, right? So, and like, what about an Ecuadorian hijabi revert? You know what I mean? Like,
God.
there's so like,
there's just so many identities that are so different from one another that, you know, whether they're out there doing the same type of medium platform that we are or something different. It's just, it's like it's the algorithm, right? It's the algorithm of your life, like who you're really sort of that. Like, yeah,
the algorithm of your life.
Algorithm of your life. Coin that. It's just kind of like, again, like who you're really like listening to, whose thoughts and stories are you gravitating more versus others, you know? And that's okay. That's okay. That's okay to have like different points of view at the end of the day, because I think it just brings a plethora of like such a diverse conversation to have in this room. You know
why I think those, you know, those new like formats where it's like 5 Christians and 5 Muslims talk about everything.
Yes, I've seen those.
And, you know, or anything like 5 ultra right versus 5 ultra left, you know, like this kind of like, which is back to what we were talking about, like, what would it be like to have someone that doesn't see our views? And those kinds of formatted videos get so much traction because people want to hear the two things get dished out.
Whether that's like people looking for the drama, right?
Yes.
That's like one thing.
Big
or they're wanting to hear from someone that, you know, probably is on the opposition side. And it's like, oh my gosh, finally someone that can like speak out the way that I've been trying to speak out.
Right.
So I feel like there's so many different reasons as to why people tune in to get that amount of views and likes and engagement. And at the end of the day, it really is just open conversation.
It is. Although did you watch the one with Mehdi Hassan where he was like Mehdi Hassan and 50 ultra rights?
I think. No, I know exactly what that is. But
actually, you know what's the craziest thing about that episode is that I feel like it was a foreshadowing for where we are right now and in what direction we were going. Because there's this one part where this one of the people he's debating, because it really wasn't a debate. They were like, "You're wrong. Leave this country. You don't deserve to be here." And he was like, "I thought we were gonna have an open and smart conversation," and it actually wasn't like that. It was very like, "Get out of my country." And I was like, "What?" As I was watching it, I couldn't believe it, because you know he's British and he's Muslim, so they were like, "You don't even belong here," and he was like, "Yeah, but I have a citizenship. So what are you talking about? I am an American as much as I am all the other things because I have a citizenship." And they were like, "Well, yeah, but you're not a citizen. Like, you haven't been born here." And then like, I think one of the persons he was speaking to had immigrant parents. And they were like, wait, so
wait a second.
Bro, I don't understand the like dissonance that people have when they have immigrant parents and they're like, well, if they're immigrants, they should be kicked out. I'm like, bro, what are you? Anyways, so at one point, one of the guests or one of the debaters that he was talking to was like, "I am a fascist." And he was like smiling about it. He was like, "Yeah, I'm a fascist. I'm a fascist. Yeah, what are you going to say about that?" And now, a few months down the line, everybody's like, yeah, we're fascists.
So shit.
And it's really weird. But I genuinely believe that was like a foreshadowing of what direction we're going in. And a part of it was like, oh, maybe. And I didn't think that when I watched it. When I watched it, it was a lot of shock value to it. But now, seeing it from the other side of the, like a few months back, I'm like, oh shoot, like we're really in a place where people are openly being like, yeah, I'm cool with this. Yeah, like if my parents need to get deported, they should. What are you talking about, bro? Like, it doesn't make sense to me, but it was very interesting to see that. And that's the very interesting format that has grown a lot lately.
You know, for the people, what's the young man's name?
Who? Mehdi Hassan?
Mm-hmm. It's funny that you say that. You know, it was almost like a foreshadowing, and it's usually because of people like him who saw it coming because of the experiences that they lived with.
Yeah,
it's like, I already know this. I already know what's happening.
Yeah.
It's just, I know it's gonna take a minute for people to catch up to what's actually gonna happen.
Maybe
because it's just not being openly talked about. So that's what I'm saying. Like, people like this young man who created, or people like us who create a certain type of platform, it just, no matter how many views or likes or whatever, besides the point, it just needs to reach one person to be able to be like, I get what they're saying.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with that flow. it's just like a ripple effect, dude.
It is. I mean, that's what media is. That's why it's such a powerful thing, because it influences the way people think.
Yes.
It influences, like, sometimes watching the news versus watching what's actually happening, like from live feed, like for different things. And you're like, wait, like this version of the story is not what it is. Like, we just need a lot of like organizing, but the problem is that we keep expecting like the other party to organize, but the other party just nothing is changing because they're all playing for the same team, and so
I mean, I think that's why it's important that there definitely are communities out there, like whether they're big or small, that are doing the work. I think obviously word of mouth and like having a huge like online presence these days really is beneficial, right? Because it causes people to want to join.
It's not realistic to actually causing change.
Right, exactly.
And that's the thing where we've gotten stuck. I think as on our side, we've gotten stuck on the like social media and let's change is good, be good, instead of like,
it's a narrative.
How do we create the change? What do we do to, and I don't know.
There are definitely people that feel the same way, and that I feel like they are taking steps and measures to do that, whether that's like in political circumstances or just like in their own like communities. But as much as there was a shift in this climate that we're in, there has been shift in the communal spaces too. Like, I do see that. I do feel it.
It's true.
I think could there be more? Could there be different avenues to explore to get it to that point, so that it feels like it's not like this, but more like this, and maybe like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like right now I get it. It does feel like we're kind of like wobbling on a,
I feel like we don't have a leg to stand on right now.
Power. Yeah. Like, what does that mean? Do we want that same level of power? Are we cultivating that level of power? Like, how are we defining power? There's just different questions and different avenues. But you know what? I feel it coming. It is active. It's
the change. You mean like not barreling through?
There's a shift
towards
happening.
Fascism.
But there is. I think there's something else that has to come.
100%.
Maybe we're in that. It gets worse before it gets better type.
Honestly, sadly,
vocabulary, but
I think that's what's going to happen. I think that we're going to have to get to a tipping point that's going to be so impossible for everybody that then everybody's like, oh, we have to do something. Like, but I don't think it's going to happen right now. I don't, because like everybody's just kind of like,
no, definitely not.
I feel like when you're on social media, it feels like there's a lot of people being like, we have to do something, but nobody knows what to do. Everybody's on comments being like, well, something has to change. The cost of living can't be $100,000.
But remember,
okay?
I think a lot of that change has to come within you. Like, you can't just wake up and decide like, we have to change this because I need to change it for other people and this whole community. It has to start with, I want to change things for myself, because if you're not in that headspace of like first dealing it with yourself internally, then how the hell are you going to help everyone else?
Yeah.
What are certain ideas that come from your mindset that's like, okay, well, if I feel like I can be okay with it, if I can do this thing that I'm setting myself up to do and I do it, then that means that I can do it 10 times harder for the other people around me.
Yeah, I know.
I think
it's like but it is a thankless job to try and change things,
girl,
and try to do good, sometimes.
Maybe in the next lifetime.
Who knows? Maybe this lifetime, whenever. We'll see what happens. But yeah, like, listen to more female podcasts, guys.
Yeah.
Look for them. Bring up those numbers. Women talk about great things.
We have great things to say.
And like let's create more community. Like, let's create more spaces for the people that do good in our community. I think that was something I really took away from this. Is that,
do you feel like you did good? You feel like you're doing good?
I think that it made me realize that we can create a space to give a voice to people that are doing good things in our community.
1000%.
So that was an exciting thing for me, because I was like, okay, maybe we're not changing the laws or anything, but we are creating space for people that are doing good things for other people in our community.
Yeah.
And that's special to me, because that kind of goes back to like, you have to change your own mindset. I feel like I can't do anything. Nothing is changing. Okay, well, this is a very, very small thing. And it's very like lighthearted, and it's not going to change the world. But at least I'm giving space to the people that are doing good things.
I think it's also really important to know too that it's a celebration. I think joy is joy and kindness can reach so far. But I'm glad that we were able to celebrate our guests too. I'm glad that we were able to ask them like questions that they feel like they can comfortably answer it. And whether that's, bringing back hard things for them that they went through, or just like making them feel like I'm actually doing something in my community. So then that's cause to celebrate.
Because, not everybody gets a chance to talk about the thing they're doing. Mm-hmm. And they don't like, and that's really special too, because you're like, no, you're special. Like Absolutely. You're doing something really cool. Absolutely. And the world should hear about it. Yeah. And maybe it's 100 people, maybe it's 1,000 people, but at least someone is hearing that you're doing this cool thing, because maybe one out of those 100 people is going to be like, oh, I can do this too.
It just takes one.
Oh, I can help my community out in this way as well. Yeah. Oh, I can also, and like, we don't, obviously everybody wants to reach bigger numbers, but sometimes it's not about how many numbers, it's like how and what people are listening to and how it's impacting them. Yeah. And like, I'd rather impact one person than have 1 million people see something that is vapid and has nothing. You know what I mean? Like that for me is real. Like that, I'm very aware of that. Like, and you're right. We are intentional about who we pick, and it's not about picking people that think and see like us, because I'm so open to talking to people that don't think and see like me. But it is intentional of like, let's make a space for building community. And sometimes in community there's discomfort, sometimes in community there's people you don't agree with, but in a real community you're gonna have to figure out how to work together, right? Like, and so like that's important to me, and being able to kind of show that. What's something funny? My mom is a very disarming person, and she'll talk to anyone and she'll get like a whole life story out of them. And I remember being really young and being like, Mom, you can't just ask people these things. like what makes you think that it's okay to ask them about their childhood trauma? And she's like, no, Cinthya, like people like to talk about themselves. They do. But you have to give them an opening where they feel safe enough to truly talk about themselves. There's a way to go about it. And she's always been very good at that. Like I've always been like, wow, how did you disarm like our family friend's husband who never says a word at the family parties, but he told her his whole life story. I was like,
I relate. That happens to me too. And I would just be like, what's your name? And then people would be like, telling me their whole life story. And I'm like, and I would get surprised. I'm like, oh my gosh, she really just told me like a lot of things.
But my mom is like intrusive about her questions. Like once she sees a way in, once she sees the way in, she starts to ask and like go more into it and like really dig into the person's psyche.
That's a superpower, because
it is a superpower. But
I have to ease it in.
When I remember that, when I'm talking to the people and I'm like, no, let's build a place, like a space for them where they can feel comfortable enough. Like I want to dig deeper all the time. Sometimes we don't, because it's just like a lighthearted thing. But I think about her. I think about my mom and how she like disarms people and is able to speak to them. And I'm like, I want to do that here. Like I want to disarm people and hear their scariest
like Z-Way?
thoughts. Yeah, like Z-Way, but the opposite, like more motherly. Like I'm not trying to make fun of you or make people laugh. Like,
oh, girl.
I just want to know your deepest, darkest secrets.
I do too. I'm a girly for that.
I know, right?
Oh, friend.
Oh my gosh. And you know what's crazy? This is the end of this year. We're a few days away from 2026.
So yes, it's crazy.
This year flew by.
It's been a long journey, and we just want to thank everyone for tuning in to all of our episodes on your car rides, in your living rooms, on your phones, on your laptop, whatever, however you're seeing us.
Thank you so much.
But we wish everyone a beautiful new year ahead. Do the things that excite you and challenge you every day. Growth is beautiful. Give yourself that opportunity. Oh, friend.
Have a wonderful new year, guys. And do beautiful things. Like get into your community and do one good thing this year for your community. Like
be kind to yourself.
And be kind to yourself. I think those two things are really important. Like we get so in our heads about work and life and bills, and it's like take a day out of your month to
do the things that bring you joy.
Yeah, and find joy in building community and working with your community and giving back. Like find joy in that, because there really is like there's some sort of peace in being like, oh, like I did a little bit today, and I hope that if anybody's watching this, that they do it. They do something. They find something to do. If they have never done a community service, if they've never gone to some sort of soup kitchen, like do it. It's so fun. It's so fun and it's special.
And if you can't get to that level, then like we were saying, like do something for yourself.
For yourself
first.
too, yeah.
You know, you'll get to wherever you need to get to. Bye, y'all.
Thank you for watching decafSOUL. Bye.
decafSOUL is produced by WNN World News Network.
Follow us at decafSOUL Podcast on Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify.
New episodes every Friday.